Welcome back to Factorio MSX Gigabase. Well, since last time we have done a little bit of work. I have in fact filled out these, well, this didn't have miners on it before, it does now, and so these stops have been engaged with 3 trains. There's 2 of them here, but 3 trains. And I used our supply train to rapidly create this stop, which also has an iron, so I created both. And we have 4 trains there. They supply their filled trains to our coal weight stop here, which has been set up as a subscription with coal weight 2 and normal coal weight. So it will call on this other one, which tends to get a little bit overfull, so using some of that wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. And we have created 2 plastic trains which are waiting to be filled. When they are, they will just go to plastic in the red circuits. So if we take a quick snapshot of red circuits, it slowed right down, which probably means we don't actually need the... oh no, it's at 7,000. We're still producing at a reasonable rate. Our problem might be we'll run out of sufficient demand for our red circuits, because there's only so many modules that we're setting up to build. But anyway, what I want to see is I want to turn on the oil. I want to see basically that all the products that we have here, so lube, which I'm pretty sure we get done because it's the first thing that heavy comes to, lube, plastic and sulfuric acid, and obviously the rocket fuel. I want to see that all of these fill up pretty rapidly. We have no combinator control, we have no tanks other than the tanks that we need to handle the product at the very end, which is for sulfuric acid, it's there. For lube, it's there. For crude, we have these tanks at the beginning, but there's no interim tanks for light, heavy, or petroleum. If one jams up, the idea is that it gets converted into the next lower tier, and it will ultimately get used there, because we will need lots of plastic, but we also will need lots of rocket fuel, so it should convert there pretty quickly. Anyway, the purpose of this episode is to test this design, and then if it works, to start rolling it out vigorously. But let's not jump the gun. Let's instead go to our oil trains that we set up a couple of episodes back. You have nowhere to go, so let's send you to oil design test. I do believe that's the one that we want. Until inventory empty. Let me just check that is in fact the correct name. That's this one in here. Oil design test. Yes, it is. Right. Now let's get the others named similarly. Oil design test. Until inventory empty. And we have another one down here which might even win the race if I do it quickly enough. At that rate it probably won't, but never mind. Oil design test until inventory empty, and no, the first one will in fact win the race. So let's head down to our new oil setup. We are waiting for this train to come in here. It'll be joined by 2 friends. This one that's sitting out here is the landfill to fill in this, but it's proven quite useful at the moment, so we'll wait and see. But here we go. Here comes the train. It will start unloading in a jiff. These things are starting to fire up. It's slowly spreading out. We are getting some action over here. We're starting to get a minute amount of sulfuric acid, at least it's something. Our bots over here are not running fully yet, but that's okay. What about over here? We are feeding the rocket fuel. These things have not actually requested any rocket fuel. That could have something to do with what's going on there. So, oh, and this guy has come too far forward, which is not good either. We need to sort out our minor design issues, which is why we did this one at a time to begin with. Okay, jump on board you, back the guy up. These have the wrong sort of stops here. They should be the, no, too slow. Okay, you also need to back up. Oh, or maybe not this time. It's okay for you to come forward because that oil has been completely consumed. These are all working. Right, let us grab this, fix up the stops. You can go back to automatic. Good, stop down there. Okay, that was the first thing we had to fix up. The next thing, clearly we are not requesting rocket fuel into these. Let us request, say, where's the rocket fuel's in here, isn't it? Let's request, say, 100 rocket fuel. And if we have a look in here, there's only 10 rocket fuel apparently. Actually, why not request 480 so that these things are full? The logistic robots are not working to capacity, which is fine. They have a very short trip. These things are not all working. Lube, how's lube going? Lube is going. That's not full. Let's see, this doesn't appear to have any flow through into R. So heavy is probably slowing the whole system down because this is in the way. So let's change that in this way. Tweaking the system. Now heavy's pressure should be released. These guys should be kicking into action. And that should have everything fired up. It has. Not quite. We haven't got all the way down here yet. So all of these machines are running. How many has this one done? A lot more at this end for now. Okay. How is plastic going? And how's sulfuric acid going? It is filling up, but it is a little bit slow perhaps. Do we have much pressure in these? Not a lot, but then we are doing plastic constantly. We're not requesting plastic. Okay, let's fix that part of the system. We've got 4 of them. Plastic stacks to a fairly large number. Let's request, say, 1,000 plastic in each one. check in a moment exactly what it stacks to. Hundreds. So yeah, 4,000. So that's actually perfect. So when this is full, it will fill a train completely. That's probably a good starting point. We are using all of the logistic bots, so we could probably do with some more, which I don't have on me, but that's a good indication. How fast is this guy filling? 4x8, 32,000. He could probably be filling faster, although that is dropping. But that's pretty good. How's UPS? Has it done anything nasty? Doesn't appear to have. So that is good. Coal is probably getting to a point where it's called a train. I better get off out of the way. Iron should be fine. Where are we getting our coal from? We have some trains in here. What do we have? We have a coal train, but it can't get through because... Right, we need to do some signaling changes. Namely, we do need some things in here. I wonder, in fact, if... if we can change those. I don't think that helps really, does it? No. Where can we divide that line up? We need to isolate the bottom section from the top section. And apparently that hasn't done enough to do that. Well, there's a divided bit, but we lack sufficient to separate down here. Oh, now I'm out. Let me get more. We might be trying to have too many pathways there. But certainly these sorts of things were why I am testing it. How are you filling, and what's our supply dropping? So we really need something in sort of this area, and there doesn't appear to be an ability to put any in there. Which is the problem. So what we're going to have to do is say, alright, you can't go in there or in there, so that we can try and isolate I need one down here. Oh, maybe I don't. That might have isolated it enough. But this this setup needs a bit of a rethink. Clearly, it's not quite where we need it to be. Too many, trying to give too liberal an access to everything that's there. What I would like to have a look at now is, so where are you trying to get to? You're trying to get in there. That's fine. Sulfuric acid appears to be getting up to decent numbers. I mean, given that this is one of however many multipliers we have, Let's have a look at lube. Lube's still fairly low, but that's relying on heavy, so, and only one heavy converting it. The rate that we use lube is not particularly high. We have an issue here, being that we haven't signaled the exit properly. Ah dear, I probably wasn't ready to start this test, but never mind. Too eager, because I wanted a better system than the one that I had. Alright, so let's make sure we don't die. So before I put these down, we need to get off the track. Like so. Let's have one there. Let's have something that... something there. Let's have something there. I probably don't really need that. It's too many. Now, why are you not turning down? Does that help? Apparently not. Because what? You don't want to go because you think there's an issue over here, which of course there isn't, but you want to complain anyway. That one should probably be going that way. Oops. That should help. It appears to be. Right, now let's have a look. No path for plastic to get out of here. Yeah, well that is true. Let's fix that one up. We can't just have these in isolation at the bottom. Why don't I say plastic has to be like in the first two or something? Is that, actually it could maybe fit 1 or 3. Plastic can be in 1 or 3. That would make it easier. So it can be there. It's perhaps shouldn't be in that one. That will give us a bit of leeway for an exit. We're going to have to do the same with these others. So you're going that way. We need a let's use the picker tool. We need you to be able to go there as well. Don't want you to go up there, but I do want you to come along here and to there. Whoops, there's actually a point where I only want, once it gets past this point, it doesn't actually need these ones. It only needs to be able to exit. So that's certainly better. Alright, let's have a look at our production numbers over 1 minute. We're now at 13,000 red circuits, which is certainly a nice improvement. This is at 23. If we go back over an hour, red circuit is the pink. We turn off these other ones. So this blue is the red circuit. We don't really want these guys either. Oh. Is it just going to keep on putting them in, is it? That's why I take them off. No. It doesn't matter. So this is the red circuit. So we had an initial charge when we first started firing plastic through, and now we're getting little surges probably as the plastic is getting delivered. Let's see what plastic is doing. plastic is the blue. Plastic has kind of surged up. Red circuits are sort of jumping up every now and then. Maybe 10 minutes is a better look. It's 1 minute. 24,000. That's certainly far better than it was. We only need 40% more for plastic, but it's building up a nice reservoir. Maybe we don't actually need more than 10,000 red circuits per minute at the moment. Or is there something else that's holding it back? I'm not sure, but I am thinking that this system is delivering me, like this is full. We could load a sulfuric acid train now. We have been loading plastic trains. Let me have a look at how red circuits is behaving. Those are coppers. It would seem as design test reds. Red is we're still waiting on red, so it hasn't completely solved the problem, but I guess I wasn't expecting one to completely solve the problem. It might be that plastic is in sufficient numbers now and something else is holding us up, though it's hard to believe that that would be the case. We might not have enough robots here, or enough charging for the robots that we do have. Yep, that certainly is a valid concern. We have tons of plastic there now. I wouldn't say tons there yet. And this one still is not getting enough plastic. But we shouldn't be too far off that plastic. So, let's see. The coal is managing without any difficulty. Now remember, this is only one, so it's not a huge amount. The system here seems to... What are we congested on? Heavy oil. Heavy oil is, for some reason, not processing fast enough. So we have... It would seem that at this end the heavy is causing an issue. I would have thought that I had enough heavy processing to convert it all, but perhaps I don't, so maybe I need to add some more. Just a short postscript analysis. I have now all of these heavy oil refineries operating. What we did was I added a fourth machine here, although this is not how I'd like the final setup with the pipes to work. Obviously we just want another one of these here. Because we've got a nice situation where we've basically completely surrounded this one, we needed a fifth, so a fifth that's operating at 7.5 times with 30% productivity, versus these are only at 3, so that's like 2 more. That gets all these machines up and running. Heavy is not backing up anymore. This situation where the rocket fuel has basically completely stopped means that light is sort of getting up high, but it's so far not actually congesting, which is certainly a situation we might get to. Numbers now, red circuit 17,000. I've seen that bounce around a little bit. Certainly plastic is at a level that would support quite a lot higher a red circuit. In fact, if we go 10 minutes, the average over 10 minutes has been 20,000 red, so we're obviously now catching up to where we need to be. We are producing way faster than we're consuming. Blue circuits are at 2.7 thousand per minute, probably because that's all that's being consumed. we probably need to accelerate these to see what else gets sped up. But yeah, there you go, 21,000. Green Circuits has upped its game slightly and is coping admirably. Our plate production has upped its game slightly and is coping admirably, but you know, again, it's getting close to that 100k overall. It's not really a big deal. And our production all time, interestingly enough, because we're so focused on circuits to build modules, copper has shot ahead of iron for the time being, but that won't last. 143 million electronic circuits over the green circuit achievement and red circuits, and processing units actually making quite an inroad already as well. These ones that are only starting counting from when we converted to 16. What's remaining in here that we haven't done yet? Research it. Well, we did that in 15, so we'll never get that now. 20, so this only has us at 11 million, but that won't take very long. 250 million electronic circuits. This has us at 89 million. How does that work? Is this per game and this is forever, and it's sort of, I don't know. I don't know why those is different. 500k advanced circuits per hour. We're doing 20,000 a minute, so when the hour's up this will be done, I should imagine. 3 million copper plates per hour. We're doing about 50,000, so yes, we should get that very shortly as well. We're still some distance away from this one. But there you have it. So that's just stupid. 20 million processing units. Yes, we'll do that. It'll take a little bit longer. It's only recorded 2.5 million since we did the other 2 point whatever it was. 1.7 million, I guess, was done in the version 15, and so hasn't been counted. But that's fine. We'll get there fairly quickly. So that's the situation. Everything's ticking over pretty nicely. I think I like where we're at. We're able to fill up sulfuric acid pretty quickly. These are coming and going pretty well. There is some, like this machine here, doesn't appear to get a whole lot of, in fact it doesn't seem to get any. This one seems to have been missed out altogether, so there's a machine that needs to be given access, which so that one goes there, that one goes there. Possibly the easiest one would be this one, so I guess that's the one that we'll have to give it its supply. Shouldn't really make any difference. Now at least that one's producing as well. Are there any others that don't seem to be producing? There is some variation because of the sourcing of where they get their material from, but it's not really a big deal. And 400 robots. There's occasions when we could do with more, but I have seen it slow off and have quite a lot resting as well, so I'm not 100% convinced. Maybe 500 robots. But there you have it. Thanks for joining me for this test. Why are these guys slowing off? Because petroleum is maxing out at this point. We have 2 lanes of petroleum. But we are actually maxing it out because of the draw only being with plastic. It's kind of to be expected. If I'm not drawing from all sources, I did think the system would choke, so I'm not upset by that. It's fine. These trains will not unload at quite, I mean, this will backlog, but there's easily enough capacity to empty a full train, and at the moment there's no logic here, whereas in a finished design. There'd be a bit more logic. The rate that the rocket units were building was basically just a tiny fraction over 300 per minute. So if we were to aim in the order of 6 rockets, we would need 15 of these setups. So that's probably what we will do. And I think that's probably a good place to leave this. Next episode, I think we'll start deploying oil. We'll deploy 15 of these. We will demolish this setup. This will probably be demolished last though, but yeah, I definitely need to demolish it. We'll probably see if we can, if this is actually big enough to replace this with an oil setup. It might not be. We might have to come down here somewhere, which was sort of intended in any event. But anyway, that will have to wait until next time. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye bye for now.